seeing how almost excited guys get to have like permission to talk about stuff.
Nice.
And they're like, oh, you're doing men's mental health? That's great. Let me tell you about everything that's going on in my life.
Thank you, everybody. I'm here with Zach Jewell, creator of Into the Dark Blue. He is a human. He's making the world a better place. Thank you for joining me, sir.
Yes, thank you for having me. Always good to chat with you, man. I got to fix my screen here. All right, there we go.
Yeah, you look taller than me now. I'm just kidding. So, my head is bigger.
I'm only 5'9". Should I be up here? Is that better?
There you go. Stay like that.
I'll just come up very close with my ring light in my face.
No, you're right. You can scoot back again.
Check this out.
I do like that hat.
So I actually, the red was a little intense for me. So I put it in some black dye.
Oh, whoa.
And it actually made it two-tone. It's like a dark red with the light red stitching, and it looks really fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, that does look cool. I couldn't tell. I thought it might be a lighting thing. But yeah, the red with the white lettering could get you in trouble with people politically minded.
Especially down here in Texas,
No, you would think people in Texas might be supportive of a MAGA hat, but it's funny because we created those before the MAGA hats came out.
Yeah.
But then we got like associated with them. And I was just like, I'm not changing it. It's just not happening. So, I mean, red Coca-Cola has the red background with the white lettering. And that's basically what we drew inspiration from. And it pops. But that looks good. I like the alternate color. And we since have changed the lettering to black. And so it's not so correlative or correlated or connected to the MAGA hat because it is what it is. You don't want to be political in your business dealings.
That is very true. Yeah, it's like be as inclusive as possible.
Yeah, this is the state that we live in, and our parents probably used to say, don't talk about politics or religion for a reason, because it was the same back then. Nothing's terribly changed except we have more of a output platform, wide-reaching opportunities of our opinions to be
heard
dispersed.
Yeah, for sure. So it's an interesting change. I think with like just all the changes in technology that happen so quickly. We have access to way too much information now sometimes.
So much. I can't even process it all, and it's like draining, I think. So you have to just like withdraw yourself. And I mean, but I don't know how true that is. Do you take naps ever?
I used to really dislike naps. Like I would wake up from them grumpy.
Yeah.
So but more recently, now that I'm almost 40, I've found that taking a nap for like 20 minutes actually is a great thing.
Okay. Well, I don't know if it's right or wrong because I've been doing it since I was like 20, and it's almost like a habit now because I might not even be tired, but I'm like, okay, it's time for me to take a nap. And I was watching something about people that grow into old age and taking it easy, just taking life slow, take your naps, get plenty of rest, don't overdo things over the long haul. I guess it is beneficial for a long life, in addition to probably not smoking and eating properly.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, sleep is like one of the biggest things. I've had some periods of time where it's like I'm getting a regular like 4 to 6 hours maybe,
Whoa, yeah.
And it's not good for you at all.
No.
And that was during a period of time where I was working for Amazon, and like I would get off work really late at night, and then all of us would want to go drink afterward and find some dinner or something because hardly anything was open. We'd end up at a bar eating shitty food and drinking too much, and then I'd have to go home, go to bed, and wake up 4 hours later and get to work.
Oh my God.
And it was not good on my body at all.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of heavy, like, I don't know how heavy you were drinking, but that can really disrupt the sleep.
Yeah.
And during Sober October, I was actually sleeping probably the best. But it's, and that was good for me. Have you done that, Sober October?
I did Dry January actually 2 years ago. And I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's just, I mean, my dreams were so vivid and so fun that
Cool.
it made me kind of consider like the alternative. It's like you can drink and smoke weed, but then you kind of forego the dreams. But if you don't smoke weed or drink too much, you have these really amazing, fun, just wild dreams.
It's funny because like I've been reading up a lot on like Buddhism, and I just read, or not just, but a while back I finished a book on the Shambhala, and there's so much talk in Buddhism about just like learning to be okay with normalcy, with that like repetitive, that routine. And it's like there's happiness in routine, or joy in routine, if you can get used to that.
Find it.
And yeah, right, exactly. And I struggle with that so bad. I'm a big fan of like comedies, like stand-up comedy and sitcoms, things like that are kind of like wholesome, because like life sucks enough most of the time. So like when I watch something, I want to kind of get away from that, and like that whole escapism concept, and so I actually really tend to steer away from watching serious movies and shows, because it just brings me down. And then I go into my day, or out into the world, and I'm just like depressed thinking about this terrible show I watched, and I'm just like, it's just not, not good for me personally, because it's it always just weighs me down more than anything.
Yeah, some people get a kick out of it because they think it makes them feel better about themselves. Like if you watch a Hoarder or My 600-Pound Life or
all that voyeuristic stuff.
Yeah, it's like, okay, my life is pretty great.
Right. Yeah.
In comparison. And that's one, and I know I'm talking a lot, I'm sorry, but like one of the things that can really bring you down is comparing yourself to other people who are either better looking or more successful or whatever.
What's that? I don't remember who said it, but comparison is the death of
happiness.
Progress. Yeah, comparison is the death of progress, I think is what it is.
I think it's happiness, honestly.
Happiness, yeah. That sounds right too.
Because you can make progress while you're comparing yourself to someone who's doing better. And
that's
you want
true,
to, like,
yeah.
But I've heard that. Yeah. I've heard that statement, and it's true, because you're like sitting there, with your life, and then you see these people, like they're all hot and fucking perfect and young, and you're like, I suck.
yeah. That's what one of my guilty pleasures is Bachelor Nation.
What is it?
Because Bachelor, like The Bachelor and Bachelorette, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And it's something I enjoy because I like the social aspect of it, like watching people interact with each other and see like their inner child come out when they get in like arguments and things like that. And so it's fun to psychoanalyze and just kind of just
totally
guess what's going to happen, who's going to do what, all that kind of stuff. And so I got into that a few years ago, and it's like there are moments where I'm just like, oh my god, these guys are fucking ripped, and it's just, I have those moments of watching that show where I'm just like, oh, I'm not doing enough. I need to work harder. I need to go to the gym more. I need to, all these things. And then it's like most of these guys are just douchebags. So it's like,
I mean, it's not fair or something, like, because some people are just more genetically gifted,
right? Yeah,
or they're taking, some performance enhancements,
looking like crazy, just superhuman,
Yeah, but also they're giants.
Yeah.
And they were born giant. And if I was born a giant, I would be in the NBA, because I really wanted to be in the NBA. I'm a little bit bitter, I guess. I used to hang from the rafters in my garage trying to stretch. Yeah, like straight up trying to stretch, and maybe that's why I'm as tall as I am.
Yeah. You should have just gotten that procedure done where they like break your legs and stretch you out.
I probably would have back in the day. I was so like, my vision was in that direction, and I would have done anything probably at that time, but maybe not anything. Let's not get too crazy.
Just be taller.
Yeah. But, and then the other thing was Steven, Steven, our boy, Steven, he just did a bodybuilding contest, and he got the results. So last year he did it, and he came in like dead last.
Right, I remember that. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So this year he did it, and his goal was to not come in last.
Right, to beat himself.
And he didn't come in last. Thank God.
Yeah,
he came in second to last.
Okay. But, hey, that's a step up, man.
I'm proud of him, because like the other thing was, he is competing against people who are for sure taking PED, performance enhancing drugs.
Oh yeah, especially if it's not a contest that they're not allowed in, because they have some classifications I know where you're allowed to use them, and other classifications where you're not allowed to use them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he's in the one where you're allowed to, and everyone is speaking pretty openly about it, and he's natty and all that, and he looked great. I think he did great. He really pushed himself.
Looks super lean this year for sure.
Freaky lean almost. I was like, you look almost sickly.
Yeah, I think most of those guys do though. Like I really admire that, the work they put into doing that, because like there's a level of commitment there as far as like routine and not enjoying food and things like that, that I just don't have, because I love food, and we live in this world of so many just amazing options of tasty things, and I like to enjoy it, so
yeah.
But yeah, so
you're not depriving yourself,
right.
Yeah.
I'm still healthy. I'm still decent.
Yeah, you're fit. Last time I saw you, you were like, I was like, I didn't know he was. You're kind of jacked. You kind of like.
Thank you.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. I've got a little extra body fat on me right now, but working on it, getting back to where I like to be. But.
Well, it's the holidays. We just had Thanksgiving. We're about to have Christmas. You might as well ride it out till the day after Thanksgiving, and then that's when I'm gonna start winding down. Like start drinking near beers and whatever, smoking CBD, and then dry January, having good dreams again, wild dreams. And then we'll see where that goes. The real positive, though, is that it kind of, I've always identified, isn't 100% true, but for the last 20 years or whatever, like I smoke weed. Yeah, like I smoke weed every day, all day. And now it's kind of like, I'm still smoking, but it's nowhere near. It's like once a day as opposed to 5 times. All day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shift. That's definitely a shift. I remember you telling me you had cut back a bit. And I've had a very similar experience with alcohol too, like with beer specifically. Throughout my 20s, I was really big into craft beer and learning about all that stuff, and drinking way too much of it, honestly. And so over these last couple of years, I've had a huge shift in my desire for it. Like it's still good, like it's refreshing, it tastes nice to have with a meal, but there are certain types that I've had so much of them now that I'm just like, it all tastes the same. It doesn't vary enough for me to really get excited or care about the new release from this brewery or that brewery or whatever.
Yeah, but you go to bars and you host these meetings for men with mental health issues or whatever.
Just even normal everyday dudes, just trying to get ahead of the mental health issues,
right? So that they just get out of your house, maybe talk to someone else and tell them if you're having some issues instead of bottling everything up,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So what do you do in those situations? Like, I'm assuming you still have a beer or two.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. When we do the men's groups and stuff, I definitely have a beer or two still, but I don't desire it. I don't like crave it as much as I used to, like that. And so I enjoy to have one or two, but I'm like, I'm in this space now where I just really actually enjoy a nice low alcohol, refreshing beer. So
yeah, yeah, you don't have to get like a 10%.
9%. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I started, I didn't even know I was buying these beers. I was just buying beer. Now I'm looking at the percentage. I'm like, I don't need 9.5% or whatever. Right. I need I'm looking for like 6 and less. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm here with Zach from Into the Dark Blue. It's a men's mental health awareness. Yeah. Organization. It's a 501c, I believe. And we've been donating. SHEATH has been donating to the cause. Let's get real. Yeah. Yeah. Might as well. I guess you can put up a facade. Everything's going great. My life is a fucking movie and I'm the star. I'm a hero.
Right.
Yeah. But I think there should be moments like this where you can express what's really going on. Maybe even just, in secret. You don't have to tell everybody that your life is really not perfect.
Yeah. It's just all about having a few people in your life that you can trust with the real stuff, and not and not hold it in like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all about. And is preventative mental wellness, and really just trying to get ahead of bigger problems that can happen when people don't talk about what they're dealing with. I don't know if you saw, but Twitch, he's a DJ dancer.
No.
Yeah. He's pretty popular in that world.
You're talking about like an app or whatever.
No, it's a guy. His name is Twitch.
Okay.
He's like popular dancer and DJ. He's on the Ellen Show here. He's been on the Ellen Show actually.
Wow.
The DJ on the Ellen Show.
Okay.
But anyway, he just committed suicide.
Oh no.
Everybody is saying how nice of a guy he was, how happy he seemed, and all this stuff, and like,
I'm gonna assume it was a woman, but see, that's what I do. I make assumptions. Tell me.
Twitch was a guy. Yeah.
I know, but like it was a woman that fucked with his head enough to the point where he
gotcha. I don't know. It's interesting because they were actually just talking about it on the news, and how he posted something about how he was so excited about his anniversary with his wife and all this stuff. So, but fame, I assume, can get really hard on people trying to put up this facade, like you were saying, and trying to be the specific person that people expect you to be, and so I'd assume there's probably a lot there too.
Yeah, I mean, I joke and I kid.
Yeah. But which I appreciate, because it makes these conversations easier to have.
Yeah, levity.
Yes.
Women are the best. I love I love all the women in my life. But like you said, preventative. Well, what could you have done in this case with Twitch? How can you prevent these things?
Yeah, well, hopefully it's all about just providing a community where people feel comfortable to talk. They don't feel like they have to hide that stuff, and it's actually been really amazing. And you're talking about, you guys have been donating and everything, which has been phenomenal. It's been a huge help for us to be able to do what we do, in seeing these guys really come and open up at these groups and at these events that we do. And what's been really amazing is seeing how almost excited guys get to have like permission to talk about stuff.
Nice.
And they're like, "Oh, you're doing men's mental health? That's great. Let me tell you about everything that's going on in my life."
Yeah, they just can unload.
Like, oh, okay.
Dude. Yeah, I love Jordan Peterson, and he's helping like young men, maybe try to encourage them to be better and quit being like whiny babies or whatever, but also, just like a little bit of encouragement. And I'm sorry, that sounded horrible, but like the whiny babies, meaning, I don't know, you should be able to talk about your feelings.
Yeah. But complaining about things that you could change, or things that, things that are insignificant, like, not having a new phone, or not, whatever.
He starts like crying because he's talking about guys, like you just said, that came and unload at these meetups, and they just want like a little bit of encouragement. Like, can somebody fucking tell me I'm doing okay?
Yeah, seriously.
Like, I mean, and honestly, no one, maybe my mom, I don't know. You know, I guess that's good enough, right? But like, it's like, like a compliment, like you're doing good, I'm proud of you, or fucking something. Like, I don't know. Like, but it's all, I feel like we could all use that. And so many of us don't get it. Or what we do, it's so like minuscule. And my daughter is also pretty good about making sure, like, you know, whatever, reciprocating, because I'm proud of her, and she'll be like, I'm proud of you. And I've built something pretty, like, I was gonna say magnificent, but just is like a big deal. This company, and
it's been amazing. Like watching the growth over the years, like that's absolutely something to be proud of. Like you guys, like just this. I am always baffled by, you know, a seemingly small idea turned into something so big and so like more than just underwear to me, you know, as far as I'm concerned. Like there's so much more to it. And I love what you've built, man.
I like that. Well, I don't know, more than just underwear. I'm writing that down because I like that.
Yeah, just pay me your royalties, okay?
Got it. Psych. This is because it's under the Robert Patton Global Podcast.
You own
all the rights,
everything said on the podcast.
Any ideas that come out from the podcast. But I'll continue to work with you.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, me too. I think, but just if you're out there, fucking say something nice to somebody. Say they're beautiful or handsome or doing. I'm proud of you. If you, I mean, you don't even lie. You don't have to lie. But I think so many times it just goes left unsaid. It's like, why don't you just say something nice instead of not saying anything?
Right. Yeah. That's like, you know, I don't know if it's, I want to say it's societal just because of this, just so many things that have happened in our history that have created such an individualistic perspective on life, where we are at this point now where we're just in our little box and focused on ourselves and our own stuff so heavily that we almost, I feel like a lot of people don't even realize that there are other humans around them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
And it's really sad sometimes. And like, I make it a point to, when I go out and run errands or go to restaurants or whatever it is, I make it a point to very specifically ask whoever I'm working with how their day is going.
Nice.
And I look them in the face and I say, how's your day? And the response I get from people is heartbreaking sometimes, because they'll just like take a deep breath.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Thank you for asking.
Wow.
And it's like this sense of relief because I'm treating them like a human.
Yeah. You know? Acknowledging their existence.
Yeah, exactly. And it's amazing how something little like that can change somebody's day. And I can't remember if I've ever told you this, like, this theory that I have about the pendulum, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How it's like, it's.
Tell me, but I have a theory about pendulums, kind of.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like everything is on more of a pendulum swing than like a timeline, like a chronological timeline.
Yeah.
Right? So with politics or like our own behaviors or generational behaviors, things like that, where we don't just kind of like find a medium ground when we realize we need it. It's just like we are on one side and we swing to the other side, and it takes time for that pendulum to finally come to a center where we have balance, right? And people expect it to be like some kind of immediate fix, where it's like we can't just go from one thing to the right thing right away.
Yeah, because the momentum has swung in. Now it's going in that direction, but you went up, you went too far. Come back towards the middle.
Exactly.
You're trying to overcorrect, like you were saying.
Right. Yep. And then finally, at some point, you know, there is a center that it will come to, and it will stay in that center. But it's just a matter of getting there. It's like turning the dial and getting or like doing a recipe and trying to cook something to make it taste right, and you finally get the seasoning right, you know. But yeah, so I think there's probably a level of that where you're there was too much of that and I don't want any of it, so I'm gonna not have actually wrote a blog post a while back called "Jesus Was Buddhist," and
like it.
And if you look at his words and the things that he says, as far as like the text that we have today, the translations that we have, they're very parallel to Buddhist philosophy.
Yeah,
and
good teaching.
And one of the big things too is when Jesus was born, and in that text, it talks about the Magi from the east coming to visit him, and like
the three kings or whatever.
Yeah. So it's like okay, so he already had connections to the east, and Buddhism and Hinduism and all this stuff is all very closely tied in a lot of ways. I
like Tao. I like the Tao or the Tao.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Have you gotten into that at all?
Not yet. No, I've read a little bit about it, but I don't know like a lot of details on that yet.
Just like I'll send you a link. My brother Matt sent me a link. It's like the Tao Te Ching, and it's like a YouTube, and the guy will read it to you. It's like 73 verses. It's actually really peaceful to just listening to him read. The whole book is like 2 hours long, but it's really good. I mean, and there's some stuff that it's like, I don't really know where you're going with that. But there's some stuff that's like gold.
Nice.
So do you want to, like, there's something to learn from Christianity, Buddhism, Taoism, possibly Hinduism. Hinduism's a little weird to me. I'm not as familiar. It's a lot of wars and gods.
Mystical, a lot of very mystical things.
The Bhagavad Gita. I have it at home. I tried to read it. I'm really bad at reading unless it's just like gripping from the beginning.
Right. Yeah, I get that.
I'm reading this book on Steve Jobs. I've said it in every podcast for the past 3 months because it's a really thick book and I'm kind of slow at reading, but it's his biography, and Walter Isaacson or something. He wrote Ben Franklin and Einstein and a couple other people, like major figures in history.
Yeah.
And of course, Steve Jobs with his ego was like, I need this guy to write my biography because I'm on that level. But it's fascinating. And Tao, Buddhism. I forgot where I was going. Why did I bring him up? He likes Buddhism, Taoism.
Okay.
And
you're talking about how there's something to gain from all of it.
I hate when this happens.
It's the neurodivergent.
Just the fact that what?
I said it's the neurodivergent rabbit holes.
Yeah, we're going in all these directions. But essentially, I love the book, and so I'm reading it. Whereas I tried, and like from the get-go, I was reading it, and it was like gripping. Whereas with the Bhagavad Gita, I'm like, this is a lot. I don't even know if is this for real? Are you joking? Like, it's because it's like it starts off with gods battling gods or something, or gods battling humans, and it's like, okay. I don't know where it's too much. It was too much for me. Maybe at one point I'll get into it. I definitely love the Bible, even though there's a lot of probably stuff that's questionable in there, especially in today's day and age.
For sure, yeah.
I don't know, what is the book of Buddha?
There's several. It's the six rights. God, I can't remember. I don't remember the name of the actual religious book.
Yeah.
Because it's not. I don't think there's like a specific religious text that is Buddhist.
Yeah, it's just like the story of Buddha. You hear his.
Right. Yeah. There's the story of Buddha, but then there's like like all the Sanskrit texts and things like that came from the development of Buddhist philosophy, but they're not like compiled into one book, as far as I know.
Right.
So yeah, but
somebody should do that.
Yeah, I completely agree. But yeah, the general like Buddhist theory and philosophy is all kind of in a few different texts.
Have you read Siddhartha? Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He like sits by the river, and well, there's a lot, but that sounds nice. Sitting by a river.
Yeah, that does sound nice.
with nowhere to go though, because I know if I went and sat by a river right now, I'd be like, I gotta
thinking about what you need to do next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I mean, speaking of which, I mean, we could talk forever. I don't want to keep you.
Yeah. I've got about 5-10 minutes left before I've got a staff meeting for my day job. So
nice. Okay. Well, I definitely want to thank you for coming on. It is always a pleasure to talk to you. Maybe it's because the thing you do with Into the Dark Blue, and it's like you give permission for people to spill their guts.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I'll just sit here and listen. You say whatever you want.
Yeah, and you're on my podcast, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to talk. And I should come. Are you still doing Into the Dark Blue?
I am. Yeah. Let's do another episode, man.
Okay, good.
For sure.
Then yes, that would be grand.
Okay. Yeah. Let's plan it.
Anytime.
Yeah. So and before we go, if I can just kind of tell a little bit about
absolutely
what it's about. But yeah. So Into the Dark Blue, we are a 501c3 focused on men's mental wellness. So if it's something you guys are interested in supporting or checking out, you can go to our website at intothedarkblue.com, and we have TikTok, Instagram. Pretty active on TikTok these days. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you are.
So check that out. We've got all of our information. Our podcast is on the website. If you have any inclination of donating to the organization, you can do that as well. There's plenty of options through Patreon or PayPal, whatever you want to do. But yeah, so we're just trying to change guys' lives and help them learn how to be better humans. So with the help of our friends at SHEATH. So
yeah, and I mean, you're working with Movember a little bit.
Not so much anymore.
Okay.
But we started out working with them a little bit, but not so much anymore.
So I typed in Into the Dark Blue, men's mental health. The very first thing came up. I like that because you don't want to have to like scroll.
I've got my SEO on point, man.
Yeah, you do. And I'm seeing you got a QR code there. Okay, donate today. I wanted to just make sure there's like a very easy way to donate, and there is. Just click that button with the big P on it.
Yep, got it.
Check out the video that we made in part with Into the Dark Blue and with Luke Adams. It's on our YouTube page. I see the main image on your website is right front and center from the iceberg, or at least maybe that's not.
That's from the premiere we did, the movie premiere we did last month. So yeah. I actually need to update that.
Well,
no, I'm going to put the video on the main page, actually. So
yeah, put the video on the main page. But we did a huge production. Dude went to Greenland, swam under an iceberg, holding the weight of the world on his shoulders. So no other underwear company has done anything like that, I'm certain. But also,
so am I.
Yeah, working directly with you, and a good portion of the proceeds are going towards Into the Dark Blue. But also, if you guys out there can make $1, $5, it all helps, and it's going towards a great cause that I personally believe in. And a lot of people I talk to are also like very much in favor of putting money towards that benefit or whatever.
Yeah. Awesome. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for coming on. Get to your meeting. Go to Into the Dark Blue. Follow them on all the socials.
Do it.
Share this podcast. And we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.